Hey guys, how's it going? Blackland here again to bring you another StarCraft 2 beta shoutcast. I'm playing as a red Protoss cloak against the blue Zerg Dragoon or Dragoon. Looks like Dragoon. We'll go with that. Um, so first of all, I want to apologize for the quality of my first two videos. The first one I did on my laptop, which is about 3 years old and really poor quality, so you really can't see much of what's going on. But as you can see here, I bought a brand new computer. It's brand spanking new, just for StarCraft 2, so I could bring you guys some high quality videos. The second one, for some reason, the first half came out really small on the screen, so you can't really see what's going on. But the second half came out okay. I think I figured out what's going on, so I should be able to fix it for this video, and it should be of much higher quality. So, as I said, this will be a Protoss versus Zerg, and I'm showing you this game because I thought the play was very interesting. It starts off pretty normal, but at the end of this game, the Zerg player told me I should watch this replay, and I wasn't sure why, but I checked it out, and it's actually a pretty interesting replay. So here we are. This map is Lost Temple, known for being one of those maps that is very big because it is a 4-player map. So I would get my scout out pretty early just to make sure I can see what's going on. Especially against Zerg, because you want to know if they're going roaches or hydralisks, that kind of thing. Usually either way, I'll go for the Colossus just because they're so good against the Zerg units. Just melt them away so quickly. He is scouting the wrong way with his Overlord, which is good for me. It'll make it that much harder for him to find me. That's what I'd like to see. So, obviously right now, incomes are completely the same. I think we're producing the same things, just drones, and it looks like he's getting a couple Zerglings just to get rid of my probe. I guess he does not want me in his base, which makes sense if you watch the rest of this video. You'll see why. So just getting my gateway down. Looks like I'm about to build something else. Looks like 2-gate. So if you're scouting your opponent and you see 2-gate, what you should take away from that is that they're not trying to rush you, because they just spent another 150 minerals on this gateway when they could have been using it to pump out zealots. So if you see 2-gate, they're usually going for the wall off or just waiting kind of to macro up. It's a good thing to know. In my last video, I was playing as Terran, I believe, but for some reason I hit a wall with them and I couldn't win any games, so I switched to Protoss, and I've been doing pretty well, so I think I might stick with these guys. Plus, I love the shields, because you get hurt, you run away, and you're good 2 seconds later. Coming in with his Zerglings just to check out what's going on, I think. Am I going to get one? Yes, I do. Free kill, I gotta love that. Didn't even get a scratch on my zealot there. So already starting to pay for himself. There's 25 minerals of the 100 he costs. The other player has map control right now, and Zerg usually do just because they have their Overlords, they have the Zerglings. They can run around and just kind of check everything out. So that makes sense. I'm kind of hanging out my base, just chilling, getting my line, my mineral line going. As you can see, I'm already pulling ahead a little bit here, hitting 500 while he's just about at 400. And this might not seem like a big deal, but you gotta remember that this kind of increases exponentially as time goes on. That 100 minerals per game minute, I believe it is, really adds up. And as you can see on the timer over here, 25 minutes, that's a lot of minerals, 2,500 minerals or so. So getting out my warp gates, pretty critical. When the beta first came out, it wasn't really used very much. People didn't really see the use in it, but it is great. It reduces the cooldown for making units compared to the build time, and you can bring units across the map. So over here you can see this hatchery going down at the gold mineral line. This is pretty clever actually, because I didn't scout this out, and he has map control. And if you get these, they pay off pretty quickly because you get double minerals for every trip. So even though it is risky and they usually go down pretty fast, they can pay for themselves just because you make that money back for your hatchery so quickly, especially for Zerg when it's 300 compared to the 400 for the Protoss and Terran. So still just going with my 2-gate, building my robotics facility because Colossus are just so powerful against Zerg. And personally, I prefer not to move out until I have a Colossus, just because they do so much damage, and it's so important. I have plenty of energy on my Nexus. I need to be using that up, and that's one of the things that really good Protoss players are really good at, is because that makes sense. Really good Protoss players are. Anyways, they're really good at using their energy at all times, chrono boosting everything they can when they have energy for it. The same with Terran players are really great at their mules, and Zerg are great with their queens. It's one of those macro things that you need to be on top of, otherwise you can get steamrolled so quickly by other players. So finally making a few units, which is good because I need some. Let's see how we're doing here. Yeah, a little bit bigger army. He's getting pretty much equal to me right now. Roach Warren and the spawning pool. Just a few roaches. Not really much for an attack. It doesn't seem like he's building up his forces too much. Barely starting to get this high yield saturated. And yeah, I believe he's making a queen. There it is. Yeah, you want to get these queens up to saturated because those 4 extra larvae are so important to get as far as macro goes. So both of us just hanging out in this game for the first few minutes, kind of macroing up, getting ourselves prepared for a battle. And as you can see, he has his Overlord here to kind of, so we can check to see when I expand, and Zergling's out here to see if I expand this way as well. So right now he has me contained, not by an army, but just by vision. So he knows where I am, he knows where I'm going. And he's starting to get this line up. Obviously not super saturated yet, but this is pretty much double the drones because they get 2. So this is about halfway saturated compared to a normal mineral line. So yeah, I got my my robotics bay, so I can make my Colossus, which are just so awesome. First one is on the way. And I need to be training this extended thermal lance. This is really important. Range for most units is really important, and I recommend you get it no matter what race you're playing. If they have a range upgrade, you need to get it. Just because it can be a life or death thing. It is different. You get that shot before they get to shoot, so you get that extra shot. And a lot of times it does come down to who shoots first comes out victorious. Building a few more gateways because I realize that we're now at about 9 minutes into this game, and I need to make more of an army. Also, I had a whole bunch of minerals, so I decided I was going to go ahead and expand. I have a pretty small army, but I felt like I could probably hold an attack if he went for it. And yeah, here he comes, making his army a little bit bigger. Now we're about equal. A lot of Zerglings, roaches, and the mutas are already out. Okay, so he has his spire, and he's got mutas, and he's got this expansion. So that will all come into play pretty shortly, and you'll see why he went for that expansion. Any upgrades? No upgrades yet for his roaches or his Zerglings. Mutalisks, no, nothing either. So no upgrades for him, and no upgrades for me either. But I finally have my Colossus out. Love the Colossus. Something you can do with these is go for the Colossus ship, which is actually you put a Colossus inside of a warp prism, and you can fly him around and harass mineral lines. And it's so good because they do that splash damage in a line, and they can 2-shot drones. So it's pretty cool. I've only seen it once, and that was in a very high-level game. But I love it. The Colossus ship is awesome. If you can do it, go for it. I haven't done it yet, but I'll have to try that out one of these days. So yeah, I got my natural up, starting to get it saturated. Let's check out the income. So yeah, you can see his income is pulling pretty far ahead of me because of this gold minerals. About 1,200 to my 700, so he's close to about double. So here I am pushing out. 11 minutes into the game. It's pretty late, but I decided, it's time to do something, see what he's up to. And I believe I have I have my observer over here. Kind of check out what's going on. So building up my army, getting ready to move in. At least to see what he's doing. Continuing to get my expansion up, which is pretty important, and make units. So he has the Spire. It's not a greater Spire yet, so we'll see what he does with that. Still no upgrades for either of us. What about my Colossus? I think I have the Thermal Lance. I should. Yeah, I do. Okay. And that should help me out quite a bit. Bringing in my pylon just because that warp in is so key. It's really important. So I'm gonna take a break here. We'll come back in a